afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Why with Barbara Ann. I was so busy looking at my guest because you may recognize him. Dr. Kevin Gyurina is also a host here at RVN Television, and we both still have newer-ish shows, and I was recently a guest on Dr. Kevin's show, and now it's Dr. Kevin's turn to be a guest on my show, What the Why. If you haven't seen us before, maybe we're crossing over our viewership. This show features conversations with diverse leaders from all walks of life about why we do what they do and how they figured it out. So how does this apply to you? Well, maybe you're sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, or maybe you feel stuck and you want to get unstuck, whether it's in your life, your school, your career, whatever the case may be. One of the things that all of our guests have in common with you is they felt similarly at some point in their lives and they decided to do something about it. And today's guest is no exception. So you're going to learn a little bit more about Dr. Kevin than you might have known before. So specifically, let's get to your credentials here. So,
thank you.
Kevin Gyurina, DC, CCWP, RM, we'll talk about that, chiropractic physician. He's a neuro-emotional technique provider, a postural corrector, author of Decode Your Pain, herbalist, energy healer, nutritional and detox specialist, and host of Unwinding Stress here on RVN Television. For the past 7 years, Dr. Kevin has owned Harmonious Healings, where he uses multiple modalities, including, but not limited to, well, chiropractic, but also kinesiology, energy healing, and nutrition to treat the entire body and person as one system, instead of approaching individual parts of the body separate from other parts of the body, like most of Western medicine does. Before opening Harmonious Healings, Dr. Kevin worked in the same area of expertise for over a decade. Dr. Kevin earned his Doctor of Chiropractic from, is it Paler or Paler?
Palmer.
Palmer, okay, so I got a typo here. Palmer College of Chiropractic. He earned his Bachelor of Science in Exercise and Sports Sciences from University of Delaware. He holds multiple licenses and certifications, including earning his status as a certified chiropractic wellness practitioner from Life Chiropractic College West, and certifications in neuro-emotional technique, advanced biostructural correction, and center point medication from Intuitive Mind Solutions.
Meditation.
Intuitive Mind Meditations or center point meditation.
Center point meditation.
That makes more sense than medication.
Yeah. We're helping people unlock the need for that.
Okay.
And that can be helpful at the right time.
Thank you. That's a really important correction.
Yeah, well.
Gotta love spell check, you know.
It was spelled properly for medication.
It was spelled properly for medication, but suffice to say, not only am I glad that Dr. Kevin is here to make the corrections, I'm also glad he's here to talk to us about his why for doing what he does. So without further ado, please welcome Dr. Kevin Gyurina to our show.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. That was quite the intro. I did not expect that.
No one ever does.
No, wow, thank you. And you know, that's a big question. I'm glad to kind of shoot from the hip right now on that. I haven't put a lot of thought into it. And I got into it out of self-preservation. I had a lot of bad injuries in my early teenage years and 8, 9, 10 years. So that window of the tween to early teen years. I had a lot of injuries.
So let's talk about that, because I imagine when little Kevin was doing all those sports, this isn't necessarily the path you saw yourself on.
Right.
So what did you want to be when you were growing up?
Well, it was actually quite simple. It was construction, police officer, or in the Army. And that was, I am unsure what that was, though that's what I was just always interested in, being outside and playing and watching shows on television. So I've really enjoyed whatever that I thought that may bring.
Okay.
It's something good for humanity, I suppose. The police officer helped people keep safe. Construction, build good things for people to use. And Army, protect the citizens, protect the people.
So you were always service-minded.
I never thought of it that way, thank you.
Yeah, you were always service-minded, and but along the way, and you kind of gave us a little bit of a hint, because of some of the injuries and things that you've sustained in all those sports.
Well, some of them weren't in sports, actually.
Okay.
I do have, because of some of the care, I've been able to have greater memory of things. But some of them were accidents, like falling on ice on a pavement. One was falling out of a tree. One getting hit in the head, just repeatedly with soccer balls and baseballs, and just being a rough young boy in the woods. But then sports came around. I got some of my most major injuries occurred outside of sports, I'd say.
Really?
I did have concussions almost every year playing football, high school and college. And so I started to add up earlier than when most people start adding up. And that, as I understand now, puts me in a unique category. I have to be very mindful. And I started to notice in my 30s that I couldn't take a little light contact like I could. And a series of a basement office in a low basement, I would click my head on the entryway, routinely, but not hard. But then one time, a very significant hit to a corner of an air conditioner unit.
Oh.
And so this is a series of things I'm explaining in a very short amount of time. However, that last one, which was severe, was 2018. And that put me into over a 2.5-year recovery period while I'm trying to run my business, live life, the rest of the things that occurred, and just wasn't really working. So a lot of things collapsed. And there was periods of like momentum and then drop, and momentum and drop. And some of the things that, much like a silent disease, people are unaware because I look normal, I function normal, I can talk in most circumstances just like I normally am. Though when there's certain zones of life, you're just wiped out. There's no action, there's no momentum, there's depression, there's anxieties, there's lack of planning, lack of thought, there's just missing thought. And so these are things I've learned to overcome with nutrition and detoxification, a huge part of the game, but rewiring the brain, finding techniques, various techniques to do that. And some of these things I didn't even know were an issue because I was surrounding them with things that were socially acceptable. Whether it was drinking or playing sports or working out, I was able to extend those aggressions outwardly. Yet certain areas of my personal life were always falling apart.
Interesting.
Because some of those injuries tied to certain things related to home and home environment, where people thought because I'm a big guy I could handle the hit, the head injury, the ramification and understanding of concussions for children isn't really known like it is today to such a high degree. And there's even reasons, I have so many reasons, I've dove into this topic so deeply of all the nuances, what sets people up for concussions and what helps them recover from it. And of course, what that looks like when people don't even think they have one. That's actually one of the biggest concerns I've recently recognized is people are walking around, they don't even have an issue going on in that world. So to answer that question, the long-winded answer of why I do what I do, it was around self-preservation to get my hand and my Lyme's disease. I had torn ligaments in my hand playing, just trying to dunk like a hot-shot teenager. I had fallen on ice, I had hit my head a couple times doing different things, falling out of trees, and key people in my life maybe not knowing how to respond. And then I take it as whatever trauma that later on I started to blame and point fingers, being unaware that my diet played a role in my inflammation of my brain, which played a role in my attitudes and my immune system, which played a role of the other things I was using to, ultimately it became addictions from chewing tobacco and of course alcohol and various drugs, though anything can be used that way. That's the funny thing I've learned. It can be exercise used that way. It can be healthy food used that way. If you never really address the true cause of the problem, it's just going to boil out in some form of fashion. Whether it's a bad habit or a good habit. A healthy body, when a body's healthy, it's within this balance. And actually, this is one of the graphics I want to show everybody. It relates to what I was having problems with when I was a teenager, and even younger. I found I had no memory of anything before 9 years old, for maybe 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
I was in a boating accident at like 7 or 8 where a rope snapped to hit me right in the face. So, some of those things are still emotional.
Wow. I'm so sorry that happened to you, but it sounds like for the trauma that you experienced, you found some real gifts in the darkness of that.
Well, that's the only thing that can happen. See, I have this philosophy, this biblical foundation of this, but there's also metaphysical foundation of this. There's ancient text foundation of this, which is everything can be used for good.
Yeah.
And so regardless of the handicap, you look at nature as the best example. I grew up in the woods. I grew up around watching birds and deer and how nature come and go. Though a tree falls down and hits another tree and slices a part of it off, it still grows and it just finds a way to adapt to be its best. And so we see time and time again people going through traumas and dramas. People I've interviewed, people that I know you've interviewed, and somehow there's something that comes out of it. It's so beautiful for humanity, for the community, for their family. That is what gives me juice. Because I'm still here, I keep on going, I keep ticking, and I keep doing the things I love to do. And
now you mentioned a graphic. I think we have the graphic.
I thought I brought a copy because
if not, we can try to.
It's the
There
three
it is.
brains,
There it is.
the three brains. And we've all mostly heard of this. We have our reptilian brain, our mammalian brain, and our neocortex. Of course, the neo is the most new. It's all our reasoning and logic. Yet there's these automatic reflexes, the reptilian brain, our survival, our hunger, our breath. You know, I heard a guest of yours talk about heart math. I'm totally into heart math. It's all about balancing these three brains. And whenever there's trauma in life, and it continues to repeat, or we get those emotions that regardless, it just comes up. There's something in one of those three brains that isn't congruent. Sometimes it's even definitions of words that we hold. My favorite one to talk about is terrific, the word terrific.
Okay.
Think about it. Think about the word terrific. It sounds wonderful. You did a terrific job today, Dr. Kevin. Thank you. Well, let's break that word down, terror.
Oh, wow, I'd never really even thought of that.
What's terror. So our words, our language is so important for our psyche, our subconscious. I got her thinking, really
You do,
deep.
because and it's interesting because I don't use that word a lot, and
But we can use a
so
lot
I
of
never
words.
really thought about it. And now, and of course, my mind now is also going, maybe that's why I don't use that word, because subconsciously somewhere in there, I didn't like the word terror.
Could be.
Without ever even thinking about it.
It could be. Lots of reasons why these things may be. And I want to share how I got to the root of knowing that the things I was telling my clients were accurate or not. Because there's so much in helping people get well that is potential.
Okay.
And we want to work on those potentials.
Yeah.
Though we also want to find accurate ways and simple ways, yet effective ways to get the change that we're all wanting.
Okay.
In this case, I want to balance on my three brains so I could go about life and be okay.
Wow. So that's awesome, which is my usual go-to word. So we actually have to take a break already, because you know the deal. It always goes way faster than it seems.
It does.
So we're going to come back and we're going to talk more about what you want to share with our audience and patients about how you've realized these things. So please join us again after the commercial break for more with What the Why with Barbara Ann and Dr. Kevin Gyurina. Welcome back. I'm still thinking about the word terrific and got distracted. So welcome back to What the Why with Barbara Ann, and today's guest, Dr. Kevin Gyurina, who is also an RVN host of Unwinding Stress, a show you definitely want to watch, and a show that I've learned a lot just by watching, and some things that he's shared with me offline. And before the break, he shared that he's going to talk to us about how he realized the path that he's on. After all of the different things that he experienced, and realized that there's other options out there that are far more effective at solving, if not mitigating, solving some of the things that people are dealing with in life.
Well, you know, that's an interesting word. I'll start with solving. The idea there may not be an answer that's specific for anything.
Right.
To me, it's more
All
about
individual.
having the tools to be able to navigate whatever shows up.
Yep.
You know, we get frozen in fear. So much of that going on in today's world right now, and there's good reason why. We talked about the word terrific.
Yes.
You know, I wanted to expand that for a minute. Our brain. The average person, I was taught this, we use 10% of our brain. If you've heard that, raise your hand. And not at home, please.
Absolutely.
We've been taught we use 10% of our brain, though in actuality, we're using 100% of our brain. 10% is that neocortex, that conscious focus, what we can put our attention to in that moment. Meanwhile, though, our senses are detecting everything around us, the temperature, the colors, the lights, the people. If a cat walked by the window, I would notice that, but I would be, that's okay. My brain would go, that's not a threat. It would make that decision, but without even batting an eye or drawing my conscious focus attention to the window. So if it's not an immediate threat, our nervous system almost goes, forget about it. Though we're in this frog boiling kind of moment.
Yeah.
And so we're so used to all the stressors and all the ways society has brought us to the fast-pacedness of everything and the screen time of everything, and we're out of nature, we're out of that natural rhythm with our normal existence. And we're relying on apps to even see where the stars are and things like that. And to me, that it got me disconnected.
Yeah.
And I lived in big cities, I lived in farm towns and everywhere in between. And I really appreciate the natural flow when I don't have the phone or the tech on me, even though everyone else may be using it around me. There's something different I experienced in those moments, so I started to want more of that.
So you started to explore other options because you realized what you were doing, even with your training in sports science and chiropractic, it still wasn't quite getting you to where you wanted to be and where you saw the potential.
Well, I knew that the game of chiropractic at its core is about processing stress so the body can do its thing more harmoniously, naturally. There's an advanced use of chiropractic where it's like setting the intention and always thinking about it and moving towards it, aligning it. And as you focus on your intention of getting well or whatever, having happiness in life, when you think about happiness and there's stress in the system related to that, the posture locks it in. And so chiropractic's brilliant at that because the person could be thinking about the stress, the doctor doesn't even need to know what it is, and find the points on the human body that are holding the stress and release it. Yet I was only getting, at the time when I got some of my advanced degrees, 2010, I was only getting like 60% of the results I really wanted or expected because of what I knew could happen with every client. So I really started digging in deeper to the other areas of what it meant to be human. So first, of course, structure was the main training, the nervous system, toxins. Toxins. I really got deeper into the nutritional game, phytotherapeutics, what the accurate research is in the different pockets of knowledge that are not pharmaceutically funded. I wanted that specifically because there's so much power in that world. They influence everything they touch, and I wanted a clean take on it. I really wanted the outside perspective of that because I was completely raised on it growing up.
Sure.
I ate fairly well, though looking back, there's so much that could have been done. Thank you, Mom and Dad. So many wonderful things. So I do what I do in part, because I know you're going to ask this question, because I was given gifts. I want to give gifts.
Yes.
I was blessed things, but I had challenges, but I want to give them back.
And that was actually going to be my next question. Yeah. So you realized that what you were learning could benefit a much broader audience in terms of, and when I say solutions, so much of solutions is acceptance. And I imagine you encounter this all the time with people who are literally fighting the fact that they need to make changes. Like they haven't even accepted that their situation is their situation, so they can then find the path.
Yeah.
And you offer so many different alternatives to people who want to explore that.
Well, I needed that myself.
Okay.
And I started, how that started really in earnest was I had a practice in 2010 through 13 in a town called Medford, New Jersey. And I had teachers come in and teach in my place. So I had the best Qigong master I could find in New Jersey. And she was amazing, so many accolades, and she just brought all these wonderful people into my world. And I just was like, yes, I was getting all this education because I had a place that people wanted to deliver it, and I had a community that wanted to receive it. And I was the grand party planner, essentially. Okay. And so Qigong, Tai Chi, Reiki, I was deeply involved in that 2008, 2012, 13. And I had it in my office from 2010 to 2012. I got really deeply involved in energy work. from Reiki, but Reiki became a box for me. So there's bigger, expansive places to play. Reconnective healing. One of my foundational modes of choosing things to go towards was because of my doctorate programs at Palmer. I realized that there was things that got people well, and we can write lots of reports on these things. They're called case studies, and they carry a certain weight in research. However, when there's more data, there's more people involved, there's more evidence, there's clear construction of the research. We have good people doing the data on the research. It's reproducible, it's reliable, it's repeatable time and time and time again, regardless of the practitioner who's doing it. Now we got some good technique research. And so reconnective healing, advanced biostructural correction, neuro-emotional technique. This thing's called functional bioanalysis. These are different toxin and kinesiology-based approaches to eliminate toxins and to identify the nutrient needed today. Very personalized, in-the-moment care. And how I got into all that was because it's a simple feature of the human body. There's only a couple things that break us down or build us up. There's physical stuff, chemical stuff, emotional stuff, and energy stuff.
Yeah. So this is perfect because like just this afternoon, and that includes some of the things that you've texted me that I've looked at, I was emailing with or texting back and forth with someone who, like myself, is dealing with the effects of having had long COVID.
Big time issue these days.
So much of how I'm able to even sit here is because of diet, acceptance, mindset, things like that. And I was explaining to the person who's now pursuing surgery, and I said, but have you yet changed your diet? Because they got epidurals, it didn't work. And I said, have you changed your diet? Well, no. I said, I don't want to be that person that keeps hounding you. But, and then the next question was, well, is it written down somewhere? I said, well, it's highly individualized. It's, there's some overlap that's very scientific. That's, get rid of sugar, get rid of especially simple carbohydrates. But then it gets much more deeper. And that's the level that you work with people. So if somebody were to come to you that were struggling with something like that in the a little bit of amount of time that we have left, what can they expect?
Well, besides the first day, which is the data collection, examination, I use these technologies to get details that are hidden from our story. Then I want to hear the story. So I like the blind approach. Give me the data. I want to collect it, do a neurologic exam and other orthopedic exams, biochemistry exams, all these different things that are accomplished. Then the story. Then we go over, okay, what's our plan? All right. So then let's talk about the day of care. All right. Sometimes it's that same day. Sometimes it's the next day. However, the point is, structurally, we know that proper motion of the spine and the cranium and the sacrum have restored people's immune system from those type of issues. That's one factor of 4 major ones. 2, well, you named it, diet. Sugar is the key, eliminating that. But then also we have to focus on repairing the organs that the sugar has damaged over the years. My goodness, 100 years ago, the sugar I ate today was 1 year's worth 100 years ago, probably. What did I eat today? I'm actually detoxing the last 3 days because of an issue. So that part of my story, but that sugar from the pizza on Friday night, causing my detox.
Okay.
So then the emotion. There's so much stress about this, the word COVID. Even the idea of catching COVID just opens up a whole cascade of negative
become the
impact.
other C word.
Right, so now it is. So that being said, we know we can de-stress the system from that word, desensitize that word, not forget the word, but just be okay and balanced with it. That itself has changed so many people's experience with the long COVID. There's a couple papers written in my internal communities, not that RTC level, but the case study level, where we have been working on different solutions that have shown positive impact to such a degree that the founders of these techniques are now putting it out to their communities of this is how we're solving it. And so then the last thing is the energy fields. And that is a whole story in itself, but we had to find balance there, balance within, balance out there. And that's simply that.
So many more questions that I have, but of course we're at time. And but fortunately, and I may still have Dr. Kevin back, but you can watch, you can watch Dr. Kevin here on RVN Television on unwinding stress, unlike the last episode where I kept saying unwinding stress for
We got it,
whatever
though.
reason, like I had some weird accent. But they can reach you through the network. How else can they reach you?
Well, drkeving.com, drkeving.com. It's a foundation for all the branches of things I do. I have a number of online programs, classes, groups, and things I
You're
walk
on
people
YouTube,
through.
you're on everything.
Well, we got all the social media, and then I have a program called Synergy Solutions. This is where once a week I meet with other quantum healing professionals, and we do quantum remote healing on groups of people. I have something called Vision Living Mindset. This is where I take people through how to de-stress their body, and then how to learn the things they need to learn to get them to the place of success. Now, it's not technique specific or industry specific, it's the general philosophy of how to be successful. These are the things I've incorporated to do and then share with everybody, because I had to first learn to do it and then share it. And these are just a couple of the things I have, but nonetheless, drkeving.com.
So definitely check him out and look for him to come back, but definitely check out Unwinding Stress here on RVN Television. As for our other upcoming guests, we have some additional coming guests, including Bonnie Clayton, owner of The Web Chick, the tech geek with a creative streak; Anita Grace Brown, author and yoga teacher at Grooveology; Tom Drucker, CEO of Consultants in Corporate Innovation and a specialist in psychological safety; Tanner Ali, founder and residential land steward of iLogic Sustainable Injuries, LLC; and Lisa Hillerin, author and owner of Lisa Hillerin, LLC, who was my first guest on What the Why, and updating us on her recent transitions and graduation from grad school. Please believe when I say you don't want to miss what any of our upcoming guests have to say about their journeys. And again, please check out Unwinding Stress with Dr. Kevin, including the interview that I did with him,
We had a wonderful interview, I will say.
as well as Defining Moments with her biz, Ellen Herbert, and Taliesin's Magical Tales with Ian Hanley. As a reminder, What the Why airs on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and on Mondays at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and is also available on demand on RVNTelevision.com and Roku. And please remember, whether you're looking to make changes in your life, your career, whatever, no matter how big or small, please tune in again for more informative, inspirational, and fascinating conversations with guests like Dr. Kevin Gyurina, who have figured out that they wanted to do something different with their life and overcome whatever obstacles or challenges or learning opportunities might be in their path to overcome whatever fears they had, make their difference, find their why, and live it.